Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel, and welcome back to Pine Cove Farm by the remarkable Stevie. What a beautiful map this is. What a joy this map both is and was to play. This is episode number 20. Unfortunately, this will be our last episode on Pine Cove Farm. And here's a gold nugget if you guys are out collecting gold nuggets here on this map. So what's going on? Well, let's just get up to the hill here and we will take a look at things. There's another gold nugget there in our little barbecue pit thingamajig. And so let's just head over here and I will show you what is going on and sort of what is leading me to sort of mark this as the last episode on this map. Now you will probably still see Pine Cove Farm. You might even see this very map here come up in some tutorials. I've got a couple of more tutorials that I'm going to probably do on this map. And so I'm going to basically leave this save and everything intact. But so here's sort of where we are with my decision factor into what I want to do. So this is obviously our map overview and our crop growth overview screen. We've harvested all these fields. Remember, field number 1 was stolen from us, and there was a thief that came in the middle of the night and harvested field number 1 of soybeans. But we've mowed field number 4 twice. We've harvested the fields here 2, 3, 5, and 6 as well on on camera or off. Maybe some of it was off camera, I can't remember now, but we still had field 17, 7, 8, and of course field 16, which is split down the middle with one side being sugar beets and the other side being potatoes. Now the situation that we are in is, let me just save this and then I will exit out of this. We are in the last game day of autumn. If we look at our forecast, we've got rain that's expected sometime today, and we've got soil temperatures of 39 degrees, ambient air temperatures of 46, and then winter starts tomorrow. I have, just for the sake of truly understanding and making sure that everything is what I thought it was going to be, I did fast forward to the next game day, and actually it's going to kind of start raining here pretty soon if everything is the same. It's kind of gotten a bit cloudy, as you can kind of tell, and so we expect some rain here momentarily. And of course we are in the last game day of fall, so we're in what we would think would be the last game day that we could essentially do anything, and it's going to rain. So regardless of what holds us for tomorrow or the next day or anything like that, we do have the issue with the rain that's coming and the fact that the next game day is winter. We know how the moisture affects things. The moisture basically prevents us from being able to harvest crops. So even if we could still harvest, if something would be available to be harvested tomorrow, the first day of winter, it is winter. But by the way, I have fast forwarded into the next game day, into winter. Rain does arrive pretty quick. As a matter of fact, you could probably say cue the rain at just about any point in time, and it will probably start on us. But outside of that, we do have wet crop conditions because of the rain once that occurs, and tomorrow is winter. And if we look at our map, here, our crop, basically our crop status map here, even on the first game day of winter, these fields are still showing as growing. They're not ready to be harvested. We can't do anything with them. We could go ahead and, I suppose in this game day, we could go ahead and harvest those as whole crop, or maybe we could have done it a little bit earlier in this game day. But since rain is imminent, that's probably going to pretty much ruin the opportunity to do that. But the problem that I sort of face with all this is that I don't blame anybody for this situation. As I have mentioned before, I think it really is because we have applied updated versions of the Seasons mod to this game save, and I think somehow or another the growth and all that kind of stuff kind of got out of sync with what's going on with, you know, the realities of the map and everything. And so it's not, I don't, you know, it's not Stevie's fault. Let me just make that very, very clear. This is not a fault of the map designer of Stevie. It is not, it's not my fault. I planted those fields in, all of those fields that have yet to become ready to harvest were planted in the last game day of spring. And I know that because I basically created a chart and I sort of recorded when I planted those fields, and so I do know that those were all planted on the last game day of spring. And it certainly, if we look at our seasons menu here, and let me just bring that up with Alt S, we will see that we planted those in this game day right here, and we've got green indicators to tell us that that would be the optimum planting time. We had all good soil temperatures and everything as well, and that this corresponds with this yellow line or orange line here to tell us that we should have been able to harvest those fields in this game day, or even this game day, which we're actually in. So that's all that's all I can do, is to try to do things based on when they should be done, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we be able to harvest those within the window that we can actually harvest, again based on the plan. And of course, in real life, we have a whole host of different things that can occur. You could go in and you could plant in the spring, and even before you could get the crops out of the ground in the fall, you could have an early frost or something that could basically damage that crop, either as a whole or partial damage. And so, you know, I know that there is the gamble, obviously, that things are going to be that are going to happen without you knowing it or without you wanting it to happen. But still, it's something, you know, something has occurred, and I think just things have gotten out of sync with the growth cycles and stuff, and so we're not getting those plants to be harvested. So because the name of this game is Farming Simulator 17, obviously the most of my enjoyment, what I sort of enjoy about this game, is the fact that it is a farming simulation based game. Let me just bring that back up. While I could continue this series, and we could sell off all the crops that we have in inventory, and that'll get pretty boring pretty quick, I would think, with you guys watching me run back and forth to the various grain silos to sell our grain. I could also do some forestry. We could sell the silage at the BGA that we worked so hard to put in the bunker and get that, you know, leveled and compacted and all that good stuff. I could do a few things. I could do, you know, we could work at the BGA through the winter. There's no restrictions on moving the silage and selling it, and of course our compost facilities will run during the winter just fine. We've also got greenhouses and stuff as well that would, you know, we could fill up some episodes doing. But unfortunately, this game, and my interest in this game, is primarily about the farming, the agricultural aspects of that. In other words, the plowing, the fertilization, the cultivating, the planting, the fertilization, the nurturing, the caring, leading up to harvest, and everything that goes around that, and telling that story, showcasing those aspects of the gameplay and everything, all the fun aspects of that. And you know, we would have sold crops, we would have still maintained our BGA, we would have still maintained the compost facility and all that stuff, but we would have, well, we'll swing by here and pick up some compost and haul it down to the main farm. But unfortunately, because all of these other aspects which I will sort of say, if you look at a pie, if you have a pie, edible pie I'm talking about, like a chocolate or a pecan pie or something of that nature. If you've got a pie in front of you, and let's call that pie 100%, okay? So the whole pie, no one's come along and stolen a slice of it from you. That whole pie represents 100%. My interest in what I really thoroughly enjoy about this game represents about 75 to 80% of that pie. And again, that is in the aspects of plowing, which, okay, I hate to plow, but still that's an important element of the game. The fertilization, the cultivation, the seeding, the et cetera, and then leading up to harvest. These other things like the BGA, this is not a biogas simulation game. This is not a a greenhouse based simulation game. This is not, it's farming simulation. Oh, it's not. Let me just go ahead and throw out forestry. It's not even a forestry based simulation game. And you guys know I have said before that the aspects of the forestry that we can do on these maps with the type of equipment that we can use, most of your general farmers, their forestry, I believe, is in the form of owning a chainsaw and perhaps having maybe some log forks, if they even have that, to be able to, if they've got a problematic tree someplace, or if they just want to open up a new field or something, they're using very limited pieces of equipment to do that. They're not using the big Ponzi, Scorpion, the buffaloes, those kind of things. That's what we would see in our large-scale forestry operations. Now, that's not to say that somewhere on this big or even small planet, if you want to look at it that way, that there is not someone that owns a forestry outfit as well as a farming empire and all that kind of stuff, and is not doing a little bit of both, or a little bit of each, even at the same time. But again, your normal run-of-the-mill farmers, your run-of-the-mill kind of folks like that are not doing that to that scale. So because again, where we are with relation to the plants that are available to harvest today, and even fast forwarding to tomorrow, if I would have seen that we would have had the ability to do something with regards to harvesting even in winter, because just because it says winter, it doesn't mean that winter in Colorado is completely different than the first day of winter in other states, other places. So there could be, but it's just not available. We can't harvest it. It's not ready. It's still growing in the growing state, and so that is what it is. So I think I'll hold this load of wheat down to the bakery and sell this to them. But this is a beautiful, remarkable map, and if you are not playing Pine Cove Farm, please don't let what you've sort of seen play out change your mind about that. Consider playing it, and even consider, I would consider playing this map with Seasons Mod once it becomes available for you. Obviously, it's still work in progress and beta and all that good stuff, and sort of only available to a limited audience. But I would truly recommend that you play Pine Cove Farm. Obviously, get the most recent updated version of this map. I am playing the one version behind the latest and greatest. Remember, I sort of waited until Stevie released this map before I decided to play Pine Cove Farm. And I think, is this my turn here? Let's bring up, yeah, it is. So we'll take this to the bakery. But this is a beautiful map, and I just want to say thank you, Stevie, for creating such a beautiful work of art. This is a lot like an artist's canvas, if you will. And I think mod developers, and Stevie obviously is one of those, really pours his heart and soul into his creation, into his baby. And of course, a lot of these guys have personal reasons why they do something, why they create a map, because they generally enjoy playing it, and they will, create it for them and sort of their tastes alone. But I tell you, Stevie, your taste in this game and my taste in this game are pretty much spot on, and I can't really say that for all map developers, map designers that would have that exact same, sort of thing as far as it being somewhat the same. But yours and mine, buddy, obviously are, and I'm just so appreciative to what you have done, what you have given to us in the form of your map creations. And of course, Cherry Hills is very close to being released, I believe, based on some of the stuff that I've seen on Stevie's Facebook page. Don't know if I'll be playing that or when I will play that, but certainly I will be taking a look at that map for certain. But anyway, it's not Stevie's fault. It's not even it's not the Seasons Mod development team as well. It's not their fault. They I know full well going into this that this mod was work in progress. I know full well that they highly encourage you not to insert this mod into an existing game save when it's just new. Certainly we've been applying updates. I know I'm not the only one. Landy Kid is using the Seasons mod, so is Simulate. Mike Reefy 1952 is using it. Now, whether or not they're applying the updates as frequent as I'm applying the updates, I don't know. It's possible they are, and it's possible that they're not, but basically the Seasons mod team releases updates to us, those of us that are producing YouTube content and everything, and for the most part these are somewhat tested versions of Seasons mod. They're not necessarily designed to break the game, because they don't necessarily want to do that to us. They're testing and breaking things on their own, but what they've been releasing to us has been somewhat special and somewhat unique. I've been applying those updates as frequent as they have been released, and probably for us for this map, since we started this map many episodes or 20 episodes ago, I probably can sit here and remember at least 3 or 4, if not more, updates that I have applied to this game save of the Seasons mod. So I'm thinking that while they think they understand what happened to our soybean field, I'm thinking that basically because of that, the synchronization and how these fields should have been growing and maturing basically got out of sync, got out of whack. And that's more or less why we are facing what we're facing. So one of the things that I'm going to do next, and look at that, I believe I see rain, is that and we'll run back to the farm here. One of the things that I believe that they have, or one of the things that I'm going to do as I begin to sort of play this game, or the next map, obviously Lawfolds is an existing series, and we're going to just have to kind of roll with the punches for that map. I'll back up under the eave of the house here and try to stay dry. But what I'm going to do with the next map, and by the way, the next map is going to be Lone Star. I am going to go ahead and go with that map simply because I believe that for you guys, I can put, I can sort of go back to my childhood, if you will, of when I grew up in Northeast Texas, and Lone Star, the farm in Lone Star is situated, or is based off of the area that is about 50 to 60 miles or so from the area where I grew up, that I call my home, my childhood home of Texas. And so, look to me providing some, personal insight and stuff of that growing up, and how I think either that relates, or maybe how I think that they might have got some things wrong. Whatever, we'll just unfold all that together, discover all that together. But and by the way, I will be taking Billy Bob and Stan at least with me to Lone Star. So I think maybe Jim Bob might stay here and help out with the new owners and everything of this farm. I'm not real sure how that storyline is going to play out, but we'll figure that out when we get there. And of course, I don't blame Giants either, because it's not, it's not necessarily their fault. So I think it's just a combination of things. And again, kind of back to what I'm going to try to do is the version of Seasons Mod that I'm currently using on this map is the latest and greatest version of Seasons Mod that the Seasons Mod team has released to us as of the week leading into the Easter holiday weekend. And I think that's probably going to be the version that I'm going to run with as far as Lone Star is concerned. And if they release updated versions of Seasons Mod, I may not install it in the active game save of Lone Star, so it might force me to have to move mods back and forth and stuff, but I'll do that to try to avoid these problems going forward. And since we're only going to most likely do 1 year, these are some noisy chickens, aren't they? Since we're only really going to do one season of Lone Star, that probably won't be too bad of a thing to be able to do. In other words, we're not going to miss out on a lot of functionality and stuff. I mean, where Seasons Mod is today, with this chart being embedded in, with some of the other things that they've put in sort of behind the scenes, this is about as good as it gets for now, at least from what I know that they're working on. And so we will just kind of go with that to try to avoid any kind of problems with things getting out of sync and whatnot. So anyway, from Pine Cove Farm, again, my name is Grizzly Bear Sims. My real name is Jerry. I'm so appreciative to Stevie, to Giants, to everyone else that has contributed to the success of this map. I know that Stevie uses a lot of stuff that he creates, but I know that other map modders and stuff, it's all involved. Any modder that's responsible for any of the equipment that you've seen here on Pine Cove Farm, I'm very appreciative to them. By the way, my mod list is current, so if you see something that I've been using on this map or any of my Let's Plays, go to grizzlybearsims.com and look at the upper right hand corner of the screen. You'll see a mods and add-ons list. Click that and that will take you to my mod spreadsheet. But just so many people to thank and so little time to do it in, but it's been 20 episodes, and even though we didn't get to tell the entire story, we are, I think, somewhat at the end of our rope, or at least the end of my rope, because I just, to me, the farming aspects of it is what I enjoy. That represents 75 to 80% of my pie of what I enjoy. And by the way, my pie of choice is chocolate, but that represents, my chocolate pie. The other 20 to 25% of the game, I don't mind doing that stuff, but it's got to be sort of integrated and mixed in with the gameplay. Standalone, again, it's not a biogas simulation game. It's really about farming, and it's really about using the BGA to sort of in the process of doing everything else that makes this game what it is. So again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. This is going to be a shorter episode, but I just wanted to bring us together and basically go ahead and put a period, a punctuation mark to this story, unlike what I did with Goldcrest Valley, which was just kind of walk away from it and stop it. I am basically saying this is the end. So as far as my family, my little virtual family here that lives on this farm, we're going to be moving to Texas and going to be taking our initiatives and everything there to try to prop up an economy that is a bit stale, that needs some insight, some help. And so I will be taking Billy Bob and Stan with me down there and working on that farm, on that map, and I'll be bringing you those episodes very, very soon. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for watching this series. Thank you for watching my older series, my future series. Just thank you for being a friend of the channel. I appreciate it, one and all. Please hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and also click the like button as well. I appreciate it. If you want to get in touch with me, the best way to get in touch with me is through the social network, or the social forums that I belong to. That is the Three Dudes Gaming Network, as well as PCSG. And you can always leave a comment, and I will get back to you in those comments on the YouTube channel, or you can email me at grizzlybearsims@gmail.com. So, again, adios from Pine Cove Farm, and I will look forward to bringing you more American-style farming from Lone Star, my home state of Texas, and not very far from where I grew up as a young little boy. So thank you all so much for watching, and until then, thank you all. God bless. Bye-bye.